This podcast is not sponsored or supported by any business or organization. The views reflected on these podcast episodes are my own. Please be aware I am not a medical expert, travel agent, or any other kind of expert. Hey everyone! Welcome to the Eat, Explore, Love podcast. I'm Ashley. This podcast is based off of my blog of the same name, Eat, Explore, Love. It talks about the unique challenges in traveling around the world when you have celiac disease. Due to sort of popular demand, I decided to also record a podcast to delve a little deeper into my travels and the lessons learned along the way. Welcome back to another episode of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. This one's a little weird for me to talk about because it's about the place or the city closest to where I grew up, New York City. You would think I would have a lot more on the agenda to talk about for people to go and see and eat and experience, but when you live someplace, you're not venturing out as much. It's hard to feel like a tourist in your own city. But here are some suggestions that I can give for you guys. Here's for this episode of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. Now I'm going to give you my favorite places that I've eaten as far as gluten-free experiences. I'm hoping I can give you some more options at a later date. But I would highly recommend going to etc. etc. There's also the Friedman's if you're in the Times Square area. Etc. etc. You will need to make a reservation, but it's the food. I always lick my plate clean every time. If you go to Friedman's, there are some nights where it can be quite loud. The waiters and waitresses sometimes will sing to you, but it's everything can be made gluten-free and it's really good food. So recommend trying those places out. I know that a big tourist thing to do would be to go to some place like the Sugar Factory. I just want to say I have been to Sugar Factory and it's been a good experience, but my sister also has gone and gotten very, very sick. So if you're going to go to some place like a Sugar Factory or a super touristy restaurant, please be careful. Please make sure that they're listening to you. If it's a loud restaurant, the Freedmans, they take it very seriously. So even when it is loud, you're not going to have an issue there, especially because it's kosher dining as well. So they keep everything separate without an issue. But if you're going to some place like the Sugar Factory or Stardust Diner, it's loud. They're trying to get people in and out as quickly as possible. Be very, very careful, even if there's gluten-free stuff on the menu. If you go to Senza Gluten, now that's not to be confused with Senza Glutene, which is how you say gluten-free in Italian, but here it's Senza Gluten. It's a 100% gluten-free bakery and restaurant in downtown New York. It's near NYU. So it's a really nice date night space. And it was the only 100% gluten-free place for a really long time in New York. And I would go there every New Year's Eve. It was away from all the craziness of Times Square, and I could get on the trains easily and no one was around. It was a ghost town, but I got to have a really nice carefree dinner at Senza Gluten, so recommend going there. Places that I recommend that you could go explore. You could go to Central Park. There's a lot to do there, but I don't recommend you go at night. Please do not go at night. You go during the day. It's really nice. There's a lot of things to see there, but do not go at night. Broadway, Broadway, Broadway. I can't recommend Broadway shows enough. Support live theater. this season, especially in New York, at the time I'm recording this, it's 2024. There's so many good shows out there. Highly recommend it. If you used to be, you could go to TodayTix and get reasonably priced tickets, but now it's becoming a place where it's the same price as everywhere else. But you could do the lotteries. You could go to the TKTS booth if you're not particular about what show you want to see, and you could see what's available on that day. Your hotel concierge, I'm sure, could hook you up with some tickets. So go and support live theater, which brings you to Times Square. I know it's super touristy, but it's something that everybody, it's a big place that you go and dream about. Go see it. It's worth seeing for the chaos of it. It is exciting to go visit. So what's the harm in going to go see it, even though it's super touristy and crowded? It's a touristy spot for a reason. Then you could go to downtown New York. My favorite place in all of New York City is the 9/11 Memorial. It's the most quiet part of New York. People are quite respectful there still, all these years later. If the museum is open, it's a beautiful experience getting to go to the museum. It is expensive, like everything in New York is, but a lot of the proceeds are given to foundations for families of victims, survivors, first responders, things like that. So, and preserving this important moment in our history. And I think it's so important that we never forget that day. I remember that day like it was the back of my hand. And I used to work down near there, a block away from there when I worked at the Anne Frank Center in New York City. It used to have a location there, and I would go have lunch at the memorial, and it was just so beautiful. They did it so beautifully, and I highly recommend that you go and visit. So, although I was born and raised in New York, I do like the city, and I, believe it or not, do like the people too. I will say, though, I never really felt comfortable or at home there. The more I traveled, the more I realized New York City was a great place to visit, but not for me to live. So, kind of, I guess people say it's about the family that you choose. Just because someone is related to you by blood, it doesn't necessarily make them family. If just because you were born and raised someplace and spent a good chunk of adult life there, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your home. So, I definitely think it's a place that you could go and visit for a week and it'd be fine, but it didn't bring me New York City never brought me the same feeling that Charlotte, North Carolina, or London, UK brought me. And I guess it's because New York City, in comparison to London, London still has a lot of culture. There's a lot of history there. It respects its history, whereas New York and maybe America in general doesn't do that quite as well. I think also just once you've been someplace for so long, starts to kind of lose its magic. And I think once a place loses its magic, it's time to go away. So I need some space from New York. We need some space. I need to go visit her, not necessarily live with her. We are family members. That distance makes the heart grow fonder with New York City. But, you know, I'm very curious about other people's experiences with New York, so please reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com if you have any opinions about all that. Now for the wrap-up questions. Do I feel the city is safe for those with celiac? Yes, and increasingly more so. Favorite place to eat, etc., etc. Favorite memory from the experience. So my favorite memory from New York City, I think, is just getting to go and have all the experiences I've had with friends, seeing live theater. I used to work in Broadway advertising, so getting to be part of that was incredible for me. So many wonderful and great experience. My favorite experience from etc. etc. It's a restaurant I recommend to everybody. I think it's really good food, and if someone has a gluten allergy, they're just a great. I love the staff there too. They're really amazing. And one night, I was right before the last week before I moved. to North Carolina before I moved to Europe, I was having a last dinner with a friend to say goodbye. And I look up, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my cousin walking through the door. And I had recommended it to her like a month earlier to go to that restaurant to bring a friend to. And she happened to be going with that friend that same night. And we were cracking up and, uh, having a great deal of fun with each other. So it was amazing. Is this a city to vacation to or live in? I think you could do both. Is this a place to relax or be active? You need to be able to be up and ready and moving in New York. How are the people? I love the sarcastic comments and like the grumpiness of New Yorkers, but I think that's because I'm also grumpy and sarcastic. So that's this episode of New York. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining me this week for all the fun journeys and lessons learned on my big adventure called life. For more information on the different cities discussed, check out the blog posts on hieatexplorelove.com, posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions or fun stories to share, feel free to reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Until next week, remember to eat well, explore the world, and love yourself. See you next time. This episode is produced, scripted, and edited by me, Ashley. Special thanks to Sarah Mientka.